allow me to set the scene.
Okay.
You are all aboard a slightly damaged Kestrel, halfway between Kovu space and Verdoni space. Last night, the ship was attacked by sliders, which are strange teleporting creatures that resemble inky black Verdoni, and which attack with razor-sharp necrotic talons. On an otherwise normal night, they teleported in without any warning and absolutely wrecked your shit. They were resistant to practically all the damage you could inflict, even to magical weapons, and their claws tore you to ribbons. Some of you suffered heavy injuries. Wynne, in particular, experienced a lingering necrotic injury which smells of decaying flesh, and which can only be removed with a heal or equivalent healing spell. The rest of you are considerably injured, but will recover. Still, it's highly unlikely any of you will sleep well tonight. After the captain brought you up on deck for the debrief, you all went about your business. Lachlan helped clean up the puddles of necrotic goo and spaced them, but then took Jill down to the hold for a while and just held her. Arturos, as you're sweeping, you notice Finn hanging around you more than usual. And Hurst and Bondar talked in hushed tones for a while and then doubled the watch shift. And Kara in particular seems agitated for the rest of the night. You occasionally hear her cursing from her seat at the helm. How are you all handling this?
Why can't I use my water to just clean again?
Because it's necrotic shit. It doesn't work that way.
I hate sweeping.
Yep, it builds character, though.
You see, I'm allergic.
You notice that the necrotic goo seems to almost be decaying the bristles of the broom.
Yeah, can I... So it doesn't react well to radiant magic, gonna assume.
I mean, you can try some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I got Sacred Flame. I can just do a quick cantrip on some of it. I assume the necrotic goo can't really do well on a dexterity saving throw.
No, you don't need to.
Oh shit, what if we get venom though?
Oh.
No. So, Jill, the necrotic goo does not like the radiant flame, but it doesn't dissolve from it either. You need to hit each puddle like 10 times just to get it to disintegrate.
Okay, and that's just on a Sacred Flame?
That's just on a sacred flame.
Okay, well, I mean, I've got spell slots. Hypothetically, we're not going to be attacked by anything else tonight.
Yeah, it's even a cantrip. What I'm saying is that it feels like it's resisting the radiant damage.
Okay.
Like it's almost absorbing it. But eventually you can burn them away.
Yeah, I can just... Jill will probably just, like, smack down a fucking destructive wave. I've got a 5th level spell slot.
1 second. Hold on, I'm not sure you want to do that.
Why not? It's every creature I choose within 30 feet of me.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, okay, so it's not...
It's not everybody.
Yes, okay, I'll allow it.
Okay, and it does 5d6 radiant along with 5d6 thunder, but, you know, the radiant's what I'm looking for here.
So I'd like to say that thunder damage is what causes the 100 GP damage to the ship. You shatter the decks a bit.
Ooh, oh no, that was my fault, it turns out.
It was gonna be the corrosion from the shit and the cannonballs from the knife ships, from their swivel guns, but I think, Jill, that you took it from about 50 GP damage to about 100, just by the thunder damage ripping through and splintering a lot of things aboard the ship.
Ooh, you put the whole...
That wasn't supposed to be as strong as it was. Oh.
It's alright, Jill.
Sorry, I'll pay for that.
I got the cash.
The captain, when the sound explodes in the center of the ship, because you guys are down in the hold, not the hold, sorry, down in the middle deck, crew members do come running, and then, Jill, you have to explain 3 or 4 times what happened, and then there is some...
I'm a cleric, it's fine. I'm a cleric, it's fine. I am a cleric, it's fine. I do radiant damage. It was gonna take forever.
Bondar rolls her eyes, but Hurst breaks into laughter, like the kind of tension relief, this is actually fine, this is stupid laughter. And in a few minutes, you have a hippo man rolling on the ground, just kind of teary-eyed laughing at this.
Juliana feels oddly accomplished.
Even Bondar at that cracks a smile. The next couple days pass with that weird tension. Occasionally you'll see clouds in the far distance of the phlogiston, and they look like they could be dark, but they're frequently masked by the oily rainbow clouds you're already flying through. Once or twice you hear a rippling whoosh and boom of a slider teleporting, and you will rush to arm up, but it's distant, and typically you manage to avoid detection otherwise.
Wynn kind of spends the following days, kind of poking and prodding at her new necrotic wounds.
Oh, God, yeah, no, I can just get that right now. Do you want me to? Because I can fix that.
Yes, please. I don't like the smell. The scars are fine. The smell? Meh.
When out of curiosity, what does this necrotic wound look like? The one that is stable, but still fucking gross.
The way I imagine it is it's like hit and it's kind of got like dark swirls going down her arm and along her shoulder and kind of creeping up her neck.
Cool.
I'm kind of imagining, hold on, I've got a picture for this if I can find it.
Oh, that's like some sinner with sacrifice shit, the dark rot.
Yeah. Like the dark rot kind of like creeping out of her shoulder, down her arm and up her throat.
Yeah, shit, no. Sorry, Are you ready? This isn't a touch, but I feel like I should probably do a touch on this one.
That's fine.
Yeah, so Jill is going to just sort of gently put her hands on Wynn's, like, sort of against her neck and probably on her shoulder where sort of the focal points are, and cast heal.
So, Jill, when you cast heal like this on this wound, you're kind of glad that you're touching because you feel a resistance, and it's not enough to stop the spell, but you feel like the necrosis does not want to leave her body. And as you, one might say, almost massage the spell into her flesh, it practically sponges out these few drops of black goo that drip onto the floor and sizzle and dissipate.
Gross.
Before her arm is fully healed.
Ugh. Does it leave any, like, lingering marks or anything?
Wynn, would you like it to leave any lingering marks?
Yes.
All right. Tell me about the lingering marks that these claws left on you.
So, I think as it kind of pulls and tugs out, it kind of leaves like... So, Wynn isn't as dark as Jill.
Yeah, she's like dark bronze.
She's like dark bronze, more along that lines. I like to think that kind of it makes almost a lighter vitiligo pattern just there on her shoulder.
Ooh.
Where, like, when all the blackness draws out, it also just kind of draws out all of her melanin and makes, like, these kind of white swirls along her shoulder and arms and crawling up her neck.
That's cool.
And at the center of them, are there, like, maybe a few claw slashes that this swirl comes out of?
Yeah.
Alright, so Wynn now has a sick fucking scar.
Oh, is it okay if I say that kind of looks like it rules, actually?
No, it does rule, actually. As I was saying, I was fine with the scarring. It was the smell that was more bothersome.
Well, yeah, also just having, necrosis in your body.
Yeah.
Magic necrosis, not medical necrosis. Anyway.
I mean, it looks kind of rad now.
It's pretty hot, not gonna lie.
Thank you.
So this stuff is... And I think she kind of like presses her thumb and forefinger together, kind of like when you have like something sticky there and pull it apart on the pads of your fingers. And does that a few times. Like, so this stuff is stubborn. It's viscous.
Yeah.
This is not what I'm used to.
I'd like to say that you have a little bit on your fingertips, not enough to hurt you, but it makes your fingertips kind of tingle just a little bit. Like if you're touching, I don't know, some kind of mild acid like lemon juice or something.
Mm-hmm. Do we have anybody on board that might know more magically or biologically about this thing? I think we've just got the guards. Sybil didn't really seem like she knew much beyond just direct. I mean,
I don't know that any of them would really.
I guess it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
Jill, after a little questioning, you learn that you are the foremost authority on this kind of issue on the entire ship.
Whoa. Okay, I guess I'll just start making notes.
You, above anyone else, know how healing magic goes, and this weird anti-healing that you've discovered.
Okay, so that's kind of what this is. It's kind of anti-healing, even just sort of like the weird clumps.
Oh, that's what necrosis is. That's what necrotic damage is.
I just mean like this particular type, because it's like it's in these weird sort of sticky clumps on the ship. It doesn't really behave the way that general like necrotic energy tends to.
Ah, right. Let's see. I think you'd be able to discern that this is definitely, I mean, it's not a magical energy. It is a physical substance. Let's see. Just give me a straight wisdom check, or a medicine check if you like.
Yeah, sure. I can do a medicine check. That's a 27.
With a 27, I think, Juliana, that you experiment on this a little. You grab a bit of it and put it in, like, on a little container. Maybe something glass that it doesn't corrode, because it seems to corrode metal and wood and other things. And you notice that it's giving off almost like necrotic fumes. To the best of your understanding, this is a highly concentrated coalescence of necrotic energy.
Yeah, it's venom goo. Yo, we got a venom goo.
It does not appear to be sapient.
I know, but I mean, just in terms of like the texture that I'm imagining in my head, this viscousness, it definitely, yeah, it's venom goo.
Sure. Yeah, it's basically tar, but a bit less viscous.
Yeah, gross.
You know, let's break all this up a bit. Everybody's a little bit tense. I say we have a book club.
You know what? Yeah, I could use the distraction. Let's go.
Book club, everybody! Please join if you want to join book club.
Oh, sweet. What are the snacks?
She signs to Finn to see what the snacks are.
Finn goes and finds. Let's see, what kind of snacks would you guys like today?
I'm feeling jerky.
Chips and dip.
Oh, chips and dip sound good.
Do you guys oh my god, did Storm Space invent chips?
I mean, it's just sort of, you just slice up potatoes real thin and flash fry them in an oven.
Yeah, I think, oh my god, do you guys fucking teach Finn how to make, like, potato chips?
Hell yeah. You guys want to mix up a little elven onion dip?
Yeah! My mom makes the best elven onion dip.
Finn does not cook this because you are in the phlogiston right now. However, he does cut up carrot sticks to go in your dip.
Acceptable.
I do like carrot sticks.
And jerky is also provided.
That's nice.
And as you are all settling into the wardroom for this book club, just the three of you, just hanging out and having a nice time.
I'm assuming Lachlan's on shift, probably, or something.
I think most of the crew are working. This would have to be at a time when you're off shift. The door to the wardroom opens, and a tall, blonde head pokes in and says, "What's going on?"
Book club.
Book club? I remember book club.
I bet you do.
Can I join you? Gesundheit.
Oh, Gesundheit.
I sneeze whenever Wolf Boy shows up.
So you've got a very sensitive nose.
Oh no, you're allergic.
Oh dear. Yeah, Max pokes his head and says, "Can I join you?"
Of course. It's gonna be a really lovely one. We've got vaginas today.
How many vaginas?
Why'd you have to say that?
Max is like, "That's a weird way to put it, but I'm always here for vaginas."
Oh, that's a weird way to put it.
He shrugs and says, "You would know, wife dearest."
Oh, don't you even start, darling. So I do have a thing that I wanted to do, like, while we were still traveling.
Yeah, go for it. Now is a great time for it.
Okay, then, in that case, after book club, I'm going to say that, like, Jill finds Max, probably as everybody is dispersing, and she's going to take him aside, like, by the arm.
Mm-hmm. He lets himself be drawn away, and he gives a little finger wave to Sybil, who does not follow.
Hey.
Hey!
Hi, remember how one of my conditions involved an apology to her?
An apology to whom?
Well, today, you need to go talk to Artie.
What? Really?
Yes, really. Yes, look, here, okay. I'm gonna ask this is probably going to sound sarcastic, but I'm genuinely asking this because I don't know the answer. Do you remember how Artie used to have like 4 feet of hair?
Yeah. Yeah, he looks good with his new haircut.
Yeah, have you told him that?
No.
You should tell him that. And you should also get him to tell you how he got the haircut and why he got the haircut. Because he got that haircut and it wasn't really something that he wanted to do, and then he felt really bad, and afterwards we all got new hairstyles to sort of do a solidarity thing, and she gestures to the shaved sides of her head.
Max tilts his head and goes, "Oh, so you did."
Does he try to touch it?
He does reach up and attempt to brush his fingers over the fuzz.
She slaps his hand away. No! Never without my permission. Focus. Arturos.
Sorry, that laugh was out of character. I know that. I got that reference.
He might actually like cry instead of telling you. I need you to follow through on that. I need you to get him to tell you why his hair got cut, and then to come back to me afterwards and tell me what you might have in common. Okay?
Max looks a little more sobered up by this than you might expect. As if something you say has caught his attention. He's like, "Oh well."
She makes shooing motions.
Artie, where would you have gone after book club ended?
Probably to get more snacks.
Alright.
So he's in the kitchen with Finn.
Alright, so while Jill was having this conversation, you were gathering your snacks, and finally Finn manages to shoo you out of the galley. So you're standing in the hall with your arms full of snacks, and
He calls up behind him. But wait, you didn't tell me whether or not you could make it sour.
Wait, was that to Finn?
Yeah.
Finn wouldn't hear that. Your hands are full of snacks, so you can't say.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
All right. So you turn around, and there's suddenly Max, who's nearly twice as tall as you. Nearly. Not quite.
Nearly. He's like 50% taller.
And Max is kind of standing there awkwardly and says, "Artie, hi.
Hi.
You got a moment?"
He narrows his eyes. For what?
Jilliana said to come talk to you about a thing.
What thing?
Oh my god, he's not gonna play it cool, is he?
Let's find somewhere to talk. And he looks around, because we're blocking the hallway.
Artie also looks around. No one's walking here.
Max says, "Okay, sure, your call. Your haircut looks great. Why did you cut it?"
He instantly starts, like, his eyes start getting wet and his lip starts quivering.
Yep.
Do you want to go find somewhere quiet now?
Why do you have to remind me?
Okay, alright. And he takes Artie by the arm and just brings him down to the cargo hold. How does Artie react to being taken down?
Oh, he just goes with it.
And Max sits down beside him and says, "Hey, so what happened?"
It was a terrible day.
Really? Because I think you look great. I think it turned out fantastic.
But now it does.
Or was it a bad cut and it needed fixing up?
Yes. And no. And yes.
He leans back and says, "Why don't you tell me from the start what happened?"
Why do you care?
Well, you didn't seem to want to cut your hair when I knew you before, so this must be a big deal, right?
Did you actually pay attention though?
He shrugs and says, "I'm paying attention now."
I'm still mad at you.
For what?
You what? Ah! He gets up and just starts, like, pacing and huffing. For what? Ni sabe lo que hizo. Cada vez que hablar... Pero no, está bien. Pero... Aquí...
Arturos, I don't speak Triton. What's wrong?
Every time I tried to talk to you through Jill, I barely got a word back. I told you about my hair, and you didn't care.
I was busy.
Oh, and we're not.
Well, I had my own shit going on. I was fighting legionnaires. I was wrangling politics.
We had to look at everything. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Why?
Because we had to drink the water, the thing.
I can't remember if Max already knows about this or not.
We haven't established on air whether or not the parties filled him in on the campaign thus far.
Yeah.
Oh, probably not.
I don't think they have yet. Like, I can't imagine a time where we've just sat down and done it other than, like, in vague references.
Yeah. And honestly, it's kind of funny if he's in the dark for a lot of this right now. He deserves it.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for yes-anding.
Yeah, I'm on board with this. And Max is like, you drank water? I drink water all the time. What's special about this water?
Oh, what's special about this water? That's also a question I would like to know.
Did the water fuck your hair up?
No, this was after the hair. But I still took the time to try and talk to you when you were an ass.
Okay. And he leans in almost conspiratorially as if he's trying to be like a just between you and me friendly thing. It's like, why is everyone so mad at me? What did I do?
Artie just gives him the most stunned fucking look. You only give a shit about you, it seems.
Oh, what? Like you can talk?
Oh, yeah, I know that I'm a little shit. But I don't try to be.
I don't try to be either. I'm just trying to get by, man.
No. Because trying to get by is still trying. You don't try for shit.
Hey, fuck you. I try heaps.
Oh, fuck you! Where? My country is burning and I have to be a king. Where?
He looks taken aback at that. Do you even know what's going on?
Yes, your country is in turmoil and your little sister is up for the throne who is going to be a puppet queen. I know!
So you know how serious this is. The shit that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, it's another kingdom. Same shit. Different sphere.
Quick point of order. I was wondering about this. Does Max actually know that
That's
Artie's a
literally
king?
my next question.
I don't think
actually-
I don't think he does, because it didn't come out until after he left, didn't it?
You just kept saying he wasn't a prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out on the Halloween Castle.
Yeah, okay. And Max says, well, what the fuck would you know? You're not a secret prince or anything.
It's at this point where Wynn wanders in. She's dressed in her pajamas. She's carrying some onion dip in one of her carrots. She goes, "What are you guys talking about? Are you both arguing about being kings, dealing with planets that are fucked and everything? It's weird having two kings on board, isn't it?" She said, and then she turns and walks out.
If I had a nickel.
She's like, if I had a copper for every time.
If I had a copper for every time we had a king on board this ship, I'd only have 2 coppers, and it'd be weird it worked out like that, but weird. And she just kind of walks off, crunching on a carrot stick as she goes.
It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah.
Max's mouth drops open, and he looks at Arturos. What?
Yeah, bitch. You're not the only king here. And it's not just because I'm a power bottom.
Which fucking kingdom? Brink? Hearth?
Flood space.
He pauses for a second and goes, flood space. That's the one with all the fucking... Tritons, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, are we talking a planet or are we talking sphere?
It's the sphere.
And Max just rubs his eyes and goes, oh, jeez. Is that the one with the fucking kraken in the center?
What kraken?
I don't know, what's cracking with you?
Yeah, there it is.
How do you know it's a kraken?
It's in the public records. All over Wildspace.
What the shit? But yes, the one with the kraken.
Wow.
And I technically am, but actually also technically was the king, and that's why my fucking hair is gone.
Okay, one, what are you doing out here with Ridian first and now with the Kestrel? And two, what does that have to do with your hair?
I didn't want to be king. You should fucking know this. I didn't want to be king. There were many other choices. I don't know why it was me. Maybe I do. It was probably politically motivated so that the church could use me as their figurehead and then they eventually would kill me off or something. I don't know. So I left. I miss my one sister, but she's also fine without me.
Huh. Well, that sounds familiar.
And to prove that I am dead, they had to cut my hair. Because it's the only goddamn thing that I would not give up. And I had to give it up. And now I'm so cold all the time. He starts crying.
Where is Artie right now in the hold? Like, among these crates and boxes and barrels and baskets? What is he doing? Is he pacing, perhaps?
He was pacing, and now he's in front of Max, just weeping.
Max looks awkward and says, "That's a tough break, man. I'm sorry." He looks like... Artie, you'd be able to tell that he looks like he feels like he's supposed to hug you at this point, but doesn't know if he's allowed to.
This is when you get your ass up and put your arms around me and whisper sweet nothings.
He awkwardly stands up and just kind of wraps his arms around you and pulls your head to his belly, basically. His stomach. And he's just kind of like, there.
Tell me I'm pretty.
No. But I am sorry. That bites. So you cut it off to make them think you were dead.
It's the only way that they would stop trying to assassinate me. Or take me back. I don't know what they wanted, really.
If you didn't want to lose your hair, why not just lop off a hand and then use a regenerate spell to get it back?
I use my hands. What? Also... What?
We were broke at the time too.
We were broke. We were dead broke. Who could afford the regenerate spell?
Oh, okay, no, that's fair. Well, if you want, when we get back to Verdoni space, I can see about... Well, it doesn't matter now, because they're already off your scent, but perhaps I can see about something different. Maybe we'll be able to... What do you want, Arturos, now that you're gone from Blood Space?
I just want to live my life, bro. But I don't want to do it as an asshole.
Max looks a bit cheeky and says, as if you have any trouble with that.
Arnie punches him in the gut.
Okay.
Ooh.
Alright. He's not expecting that, so make a unarmed attack.
Alrighty, let me get my sheet out.
Oh my god, that's plus 11.
Normal. And that's 21.
So, how hard do you hit him?
We're gonna say medium. Medium hardness. Artie wants him winded and potentially nearly throwing up. That's what he's aiming for.
So you punch him in the solar plexus so hard that he actually gets staggered and flung back and smacks against the back of the wall, against like the mast that's protruding through the ship. And he's just like, "Oh, fuck! God!" And it looks like he's trying not to vomit, and he's just slowly sinks down to the floor. Sitting down, he's still almost as tall as you, and he's just there, heaving for a bit.
Yeah, Artie goes and looks him in the eye.
Do you tilt his chin up to look at you?
Oh shit!
Yes, actually. Yes, thank you.
Because he's doubled over.
He's doubled over. Artie kind of... You keep trying to make him like this gigantic thing. Artie's not that small. Fuck you.
I joke about Artie's height.
Artie leans over and takes his chin in his hand and looks Max in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you're an asshole. This is what every single person come into contact with wants to do to you, and worse. And you don't give a shit. He drops his hand.
Damn.
Artie grabs his snacks and starts walking out, and he looks back and says, "When you become king, try and find someone who can actually do the job." And walks out.
Max remains there, heaving.
Ice fucking cold.
Hell, shit.
Jill will find him later. Probably still lean down, crouch down, just do a squat, pop a squat. So what have we learned?
He's kind of still wheezing a bit, and he just says, "Artie packs a punch."
That he does.
It's at this point where Wynn suddenly burst in again. She's now down to just like 2 carrots left, and she goes, "Guys, I just realized something.
What's that?
I'm the only member of Shore Party who's not royalty right now.
Ew.
Fuck it up, yeah!" And she just leaves the room.
Oh, yuck. Oh, why'd you have to
Ah.
say that?
Arturos, how do you handle the next few days around the ship? Because I think Max is a lot more wary of you from now on. Especially since you just fucking gut punched him.
Yeah, Artie is,
Emotionally and figuratively. No, emotionally and physically. There we go. I did it.
there. Artie is his normal cheerful self. He's just completely ignoring Max right now.
Ooh. Doesn't even acknowledge that he's on board, does he?
He doesn't acknowledge Max existing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. So like we could all be sitting down to dinner or something, not that we really do that here, and Max could be right next to the salt, and you could ask for the other person on the other side of the table to pass the salt for you.
Yeah, and if he was at the very end of the table, Artie would lean over to grab the salt and be like, "Why did we put that all the way over there?"
Oh, harsh.
Gosh. I think these 2 weeks are very tense. But not for you, Arturos. You're owning your place here. But for Max, I think he's a lot more sedated. Sedate? Calm. Quiet. Around this whole time. He causes less mischief now that you've smacked him around a bit.
Good.
Wynn, ever-present mom friend, perches near Max sometimes.
He doesn't seek you for any kind of comfort or anything.
Huh,
I don't think he dares to, given that you're Jill's best friend.
She perches.
Okay.
She says, "Do you want to hear what we've been up to while we've been separated?"
And he's like, yeah, that'd be good, please.
All right, I'm going to give it as trimmed down as I can. And now we're here.
So this whole time, I think this has taken a couple of hours. There have
Almost
been moments where, seemingly out of nowhere, Sybil showed up with cups of tea for you, Wynn.
Thank you, Sybil.
And there were cups of tea for Max as well, but yours were in nicer cups.
I like her a lot.
I also like to imagine that when Wynn got to the we were pretending to be in a cult and we had to drink from the well, Max goes, "Oh, that's what Artie meant."
Oh, definitely. He's like, oh, that's what Artie was banging on about.
Anyway, that's everything we were getting up to.
Thank you. That explains a lot about the context I've missed.
Yeah, and it also hopefully explains why people get irritated when you say that you were busy and imply that we weren't.
Mm.
And he goes quiet and sips his tea, looks down at it and winces because it's gone cold, and then just keeps sipping it.
She sips hers. I can't remember if I have prestidigitation anymore. I don't.
You don't you still have PD?
You don't have prestidigitation? Oh no, we have to get you a magic item with prestidigitation on it.
I'm sure you still have PD, don't you?
It doesn't say it in my spell book.
If you have PD, you
Really?
should talk to a doctor.
Right, you kept a message instead of...
Of prestidigitation.
Yeah, shit. That is a weird choice, but
Message
I mean...
is useful.
Why did I keep Mage Hand instead of prestidigitation? Can I switch that out?
Yes, you can. I'll drop the things over.
Thank you. She reaches over and prestidigitates his tea back to hot.
And he's like, oh, thank you.
No problem.
When he makes sure that neither Artie nor Jill are around, and he says, what do the others actually think of me right now?
Well, she considers this for a moment. They think you're very selfish, for one. They think that Jill thinks you're a dirtbag who just wants to use people. And I would dare say that both of them think that you have no empathy. You aren't willing to get outside your own box and think about how others are feeling or why they'd be feeling that way.
I can see why they'd think that.
She nods her head. She sips her tea again. It is pretty neat that I'm the only non-royal on the shore party.
He looks at her and says, nothing? Royalty?
Nope.
Nothing at all?
I'm from a family of farmers.
So was Jill.
Yeah,
but... Is this Thazita secretly?
No, she's a
royalty?
seeker. She's a seeker.
Not farmers. Max would think that, though.
She's a seeker, and she is beautiful.
I'm sure she is.
And I hope we can go on to completely avoid the monarchy.
After this month, hopefully the monarchy won't be a problem anymore.
There's still be a problem somewhere. And I don't mind you guys. I mean my personal monarchy.
Well, once we are done, I will offer all the assistance I am able to.
Thank you.
That is a promise.
Not gonna lie, it would be pretty hilarious to see Lady Olivette surrounded by angry wolf people. I don't think that's gonna happen, mind you, Max. I'm not implying that that's what I want. I just like the image. You understand?
I understand. You are welcome to imagine that. You know, we're not that wolfish, he says. It's just a bit of...
I need to give you that page. Let me go get that. Let me go get that story. Hold on a second. And she gets up and disappears in the room and comes back and hands him the Lord of Wolfington book.
Oh,
Does
no.
Jill... Do the hairs on Jill's neck prickle at that?
Yes. Yeah, she's off, like, I don't know, probably, like, doing some stitching on some of the little wing sails that stick off the side of the ship, and she probably just does a full body shiver.
I was gonna say, is this one of those, it's like a scene where she's like, no, but in slow motion it's like, running out and trying to grab it.
No, it's more like that thing, it's more like that superstition in, like, anime and manga when somebody's talking about you, you sneeze.
Yes, perfect.
I gotta recopy it just so that you can
Oh my god.
be reminded of it.
Folks, go back and listen to Heir to the Throne of Wolfington, the book club episode. It's great. Mac wrote it.
Max skims it, his eyes widen, and then he says, mind if I go read this?
No, go for it.
Sybil snatches it from his hand and says, me first. Your Highness.
Win grunts and sips her
she's
tea.
great.
You are noticing that as time goes on, Sybil is showing a reduction in decorum. She's less stiff, less formal around you all. There are small moments of levity over these 2 weeks of travel, but there is still tension. You notice that people are definitely just on high alert. People move in pairs. There are more watches there are more watch shifts over the courses of the days. There's a lot of sudden turns. You notice that when you pass near a cloud, a dark region, it's actually very hard to notice them through the swirling of the phlogiston. And whenever you pilot, Jill or Wynne, you often find yourself suddenly only just dimly aware of it and having to swerve and turn in the opposite direction.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Just because they sneak up on you. Sybil Navius does note over dinner one night that when she led her team out towards Kofu Space a few weeks back, there was less than half this much activity from dark regions. And the last time she came through that before that, there was none whatsoever. This is a massive increase.
Any idea what's causing it?
Sybil leans back. I'd like to think you guys are having dinner together and maybe you're sitting on the deck and just eating some food. And she leans back and says, Honestly, I don't know. This is unprecedented. I need to check the records when we get back, but I've never seen this kind of activity before.
You said that when told you what we were all getting up to, right?
Yeah, she says, more or less.
I wouldn't be shocked if there was a cult behind this.
I would not be.
I don't know how, but we seen him do some wild shit.
Sybil nods and says, you and I are on the same page about that. That seems like the only major change in the last few months.
That, and I'd probably put money on... Okay, I did some history reading. Said Vodan's original sun burned out, like, about 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
And that's when that big dark region around the original Vodan sphere came around, the thing that nobody can get into anymore, the weird.
Yeah, the records are old, but from what I can gather, the weird appeared after we left, or as we left. It was part of why we haven't come back.
Yeah, I would bet. Okay, I have reason to believe that 1,000 years ago the cult was active back then too.
Yeah.
So...
No shit.
Yeah, some info we had on Helena, that Mummy Lord was serving the cult about 1,000 years ago. That's what Helena's son, that thing that's kind of a black hole, that's probably what happened, was cult shit. They tried to do something in our home sphere, she gestures between her and Wynn, that was cult shit about 1,000 years ago. And your son got fucked up about 1,000 years ago, so my best guess is whatever this flare-up is, it's probably the cult trying to do the same thing again.
By this time, Sybil's removed a notepad from her robes and a small charcoal pencil and is scribbling something down. If you glance over, you'll see it's not in any language you recognize. And she says, this is good to know. I'll have to report this. Thank you.
Sure.
It sounds like whatever this is, it threatens all of us.
Sybil, has anyone ever told you that you are lovely when you're taking notes?
Sybil freezes for a moment and looks up at Wynn and says, they have not.
Well, allow me to be the first then. You look gorgeous when you're taking notes.
She nods her head and says, thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of you.
Jilliana just kind of like smiles into her sandwich or whatever.
You flatter me, my lady.
Oh, my lady.
Do you bring up anything else with Sybil at this time?
Don't think so. Anything else you guys
Okay.
want to bring up? We probably all would want to get to know Sybil better. Where's she from?
Well, I am from Vulkarus, the Imperial City, on Verdun.
Uh-huh.
What are the smut books like over there?
That's a good question.
How are the smut books there?
I don't typically make a habit of reading smut books.
Well,
Should-
surely we've given you enough of a case to start.
She says, they do seem a little amusing. At least the bad ones.
Jill will point at Wynn. I mean, she's the local expert. She tends to curate our whole collection, so if you want some book recs.
I buy thousands at every dock. This bag of holding, she holds up the bag of holding on hip, all smut books.
Sybil raises an eyebrow.
Did you throw Dewey in there?
No, Dewey's not in there. Dewey, would you be okay in my bag of holding? Do you want to go in there and sort the books out for me?
Oh my god, I thought you'd never ask.
She holds up in the bag of holding
Yes!
so Dewey can climb in.
Yes, good.
Sybil watches all this with a raised eyebrow and says, you remind me of my first adventuring party.
Oh?
Well, what was your first adventuring party like?
Oh, you know, we started out small. We fought bandits, killed monsters, ran jobs. The usual.
Mm-hmm.
We saved a town for sure. We
Mhm.
saved a region. We didn't save a planet. But, you know, the rest are all dead now.
Oh. I'm sorry.
She shrugs and says, it is what it is. And I've got a job here now, so at least the skills are still going.
How long did Verdoni live?
125, 150, depending.
Oh.
We've had a couple people nearly hit 200, but they're old stories. You don't hear a lot of that nowadays.
She nods her head.
Huh.
Sorry, I just never really know how long anybody lives.
She says, oh, it's fine. My first girlfriend was an elf. I know how it is.
She nods her head. My parents are like nearly a millennia old. I don't even ask about it.
Yeah, they've been on that farm for a long time.
They have.
Anyway, if it's all the same to you, Your Highness, my lady, I would prefer to not talk about my old companions, please.
Of course, absolutely.
Not at this time.
Would you like some dip?
You've exhausted this dialogue option. Please ask it again later after the plot has moved forward.
Actually, I was going to say, could I get both of you to roll insight?
Oh, sure. 19.
25.
Win. With a 19, she actually seems fine. She seems like she's quite calm about it all. Juliana, with a 25, you see the slightest crack in the facade. The faintest hint of vulnerability.
Oh.
There is something there that she is not willing to remember.
Oh, she's got a tragic backstory. Oh, I'm fanning myself. I'm literally fanning myself.
She's an adventurer. Of course she's got a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Specifically, she's an ex-adventurer.
Yeah. Juliana does not pry or anything. She just sort of notes that and lets it go, and will probably bring that up to Win later. I should go.
The 2 weeks that seem like they'll never end finally pass. In the distance, at long last, you see the growing shape of the crystal sphere that is Verdoni space, and you finally enter it. Inside, as you pass through one of the portals on the outside of the sphere, you see the stars. And these stars look like glowing phosphorescent pools, so bright you can barely look at them. They look like some kind of liquid puddled on the outside of the sphere's edge.
Neat.
It takes 2 more days to get to Vodon. Vodon, as a planet, looks normal to you at first. Over the next 2 days as you approach it, you see the usual. You got the green and blue, you've got the dark forests and bright plains and icy mountains and flat deserts. It's a life-sustaining planet. But the closer you get, you realize that some of the settlements in a few regions look like grey smears. As you approach them over the second half of the second day, the temperature radiating off the planet gets noticeably warmer. These grey settlements grow larger and coalesce towards one big one in the center. By the time you're close enough to make out the details, this center settlement, the largest one, looks almost like a wagon wheel or a spider web with a circle with concentric rings and spokes protruding out from the middle. It's so grey, it's all grey, and even this far out you can feel that heat radiating off it. Max comes up on deck and stretches and takes a deep breath and wrinkles his nose at this. Even this far out, the planet has this almost a dry, hot smell to it. How do you all feel about this?
So we can smell the planet from out here? How far away are we?
You can't so much smell the planet, but you can, it's changing the temperature of the air. It's uncomfortable to be around.
Well, I mean, it's more comfortable than Islara.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't have my buddy around.
So as you get even closer, you realize that this is a city of smooth grey stone. It's incredibly angular. Everything looks like grey rocky cubes and oblongs all stacked atop each other. And the closer you get, you do start to see some splashes of color. You see tarps and banners and pennants and paint. People have spread all sorts of fabric and paint across this city.
Brutalist.
Mostly concentrated to what could be living areas or marketplaces. But overall, the dull grey cityscape seems fairly evenly freckled from your overhead view with this color. Ships of all shapes and sizes flit and cruise around, mostly clustering around a few points in the outer rings of this wheel. The buildings themselves range in height, but they mostly seem to be blocks of tall structures, and most prominently, all over the city, there are these deep, dark cuts down between the buildings. They go down into blackness where no sun can reach. Now you can smell the city, and it smells like dust, and it smells like dirt, and that peculiar stink of rubbish that every big city has. There are the fumes of various ships that operate on some kind of burning fuel as well.
Does it seem, like, lively? Like, I feel like the vibe we got from Sharn was extremely lively and lived in.
This is definitely lively, yeah. Down in the ground, you can see people walking around, and by people I mean just moving patterns that are large groups of people. There's something different about Sharn. Sharn was a lot louder than this. Vodon, and specifically the city, Vulkarus, the sound that reaches you is loud, but it's not quite so loud. Something feels like it's on edge. Like its teeth is set. Like, you know when that moment before a storm, when you can feel the air pressure?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it's the vibe. Because there's no clouds overhead.
So this is it, huh?
Max, up on the deck again, says, "Yep. This is home."
I noticed a very particular pause from the wolf boy before the word home. Delightful.
Let's see, I'd say at this point we've probably got everyone up on the deck except, I want to say Lachlan would be piloting and Kara would be writing in the navigation logs at this time.
Do we want costume changes, anybody?
Oh, what should I, what should I, should I look like something? I should look like something. Should I look like something?
Max says, "It doesn't matter what you look like."
Or you were going to do proper shopping, but I mean, we need to fit the vibe, right?
What's the vibe? The mood board that Anna has provided us with looks like brutalist architecture.
I was just looking up brutalist fashion, and oh my god,
I've got to look up brutalist fashion too.
Very severe, sober clothing, I'm guessing. Okay, not quite that.
Remember that, like I said, the people themselves are actually wearing bright colors. It contrasts pretty strongly, and a lot of things are painted or strung with fabric or covered or have banners or something. So the actual fashion itself is pretty vibrant. It's just the city itself that is concrete, more or less.
This is good. Juliana's probably just like got her just sort of regular like armor investments on. This is fine. This is fine.
Max looks her over and says, "No, you look fantastic. They'll respect you for showing up in your gear."
Okay. Right. Okay.
The ship flies down closer and closer to the city, and you start to pass among the other ships around. And up on the top deck, Sybil actually whistles, and the teammate who's on the ship with you, as well as the other ships who are flitting around, gather close, and she points, and you all see a particular sight. It is 6 Vidoni Nightwolves, these ridiculous winged wolf ships. They are all surrounding what looks like a floating boulder? Maybe it's some kind of small asteroid hovering. It's huge. It's about half as big as any of the ships surrounding it. The 2 at the front are towing it with chains, and the remaining 4 are circling it in some kind of escort pattern.
What's that?
Sybil shrugs and says, "No, I have no idea."
Huh.
However, I will get everyone to roll either a perception or an insight check.
Insight is better for me. 26.
Perception is better for me. 20.
It's the same for me. It's just whatever's. And that is a 17.
Arturos, you notice that the ships surrounding the escort are keeping very, very clear. All the civilian and cargo ships, and even a couple of armed ships, no one is going near the Nightwolves. Whatever they are, it is very clear that they don't get interfered with when they are going about their business. Win, with a 20 perception check, you notice that there is a small ship that is actually following the Vidoni escort around this asteroid or boulder. It's just a little one, a tiny goblin knife, like the ship that, one of the ships that's escorting you.
Yeah.
Atop it is a Vidoni man. He's on the swivel gun, but he's not like mounted it. He's just sitting next to it, who is staring directly at Max. His lips are moving, and then suddenly the ship drops down into the darkness, into the crevices between the cracks in the buildings, and out of sight. And Juliana, with a 26 perception...
That's an insight, actually.
Yes, sorry, insight. You're pretty sure Sybil knows exactly what this is.
Okay, Sybil?
Who was that guy? And was he messaging you, Max? He was moving his lips like he was doing a message.
Max looks around and says, I have no idea. I didn't see anyone.
Sybil?
Sybil doesn't look at you and says, yeah, Jill?
What is that actually?
She looks at you and shrugs and says, I can't say.
No, I think you can. Sybil, is that important? Do I need to know about that for whatever the hell we're going to be doing here?
You see a flinch in her face at being read. I'll let you, carrying that 26. And she says, no, you don't understand. I can't say.
Okay, can you say later?
Her mouth goes tight-lipped, and she looks away from you.
At some point, Juliana would probably try to pull rank on her, but I don't think she's there yet.
It takes you about 10 minutes from where you are to start getting to the port. These 10 minutes pass with this awkward tension as all the ships clear space for you, given you have your own Nightwolf escort. It's only then that the rumbling starts.
The rumbling.
The rumbling starts.
The rumbling.
Yes. And I will need everyone to please make a survival check.
No, we weren't
Survival?
ready for the rumble.
Oh shit!
13.
Dirty 20.
15.
Win. With a 13, you think the rumbling is just something in the distance. Arturos, a gut feeling tells you to crouch down and just grab the side of the ship. Juliana, something in your gut tells you that you need to begin evasive maneuvers immediately.
So who's flying the ship right now?
Lachlan is.
Okay, Juliana's going to just her head will ripple around to the helm and just be like, Lachlan, dodge now, something, anywhere but here.
As you say that, Lachlan is pretty tuned in, and he starts to, you feel the kestrel start to twist. The light hits you first.
Oh no.
It's a bright flash, pure white light. It leaves you momentarily blinded. A couple of seconds later comes the boom. It catches the kestrel as it banks wildly, smashing into the aft of the ship, and the whole thing starts to veer. The ship starts to falter, it starts to sink, and you realize that the kestrel is now out of power.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Did our ship just get KO'd?
You hear nothing from Lachlan.
Oh no.
Juliana's running.
The ship starts to veer down between a large crack in between two of the big city blocks. Jill, you go to the helm?
Yeah.
Okay, you burst into the helm. Lachlan is sitting there, slumped over, unconscious. The helm is fizzing and sparking.
Fuck, Lachlan!
And the ship is falling faster and faster.
Fuck. She's gonna be stupid. She's going to, try to feel a pulse.
Under this pressure, you don't feel anything. It's too tense. Your own pulse is blasting out.
Fuck.
Win, what are you doing at this time?
Win is also sprinting down there, but while Jill's doing that, she's like, get him out! Let me get in there so I can power us back up!
Yeah. Oh, sure. Okay. And she will, disengage him from the helm.
And Win immediately slams down and is going to cast a spell to try and fire us back up to try and guide us.
Okay. Arturos, while this is happening, what are you doing?
Artie grabs at Sybil immediately.
And what do you do when you grab at her? Is it for stability, or what?
No, it's to hold her. You knew this was going to happen.
She shoves you and says, get off me.
Fucking try.
Okay, over the next second, Juliana, you can't find any life signs on Lachlan. Win, climbing into the helm, you take 8d4 psychic damage.
Alright.
I'm rolling that now.
Oh, cool.
Holy fuck. What the fuck? What's happening to our spaceship?
Win, your brain explodes with 19 psychic damage.
Fuck! Ow.
Win?
But the ship does begin to slow.
Oh, there we go. Her nose starts running, but she catches.
Yeah, so you strain and you fight the kestrel. It continues to slow, but at half speed now, with your presence there. The ship falls between the tall concrete, farther and farther and darker and darker. The grey of the concrete around you turns a deep, strained brown. Wynn, it's all you can do to keep the ship from crashing into the sides. Arturos, Sybil is trying to shake you off so that she can grab the side of the ship. Juliana, Lachlan is not responding. The coloured splashes that colour the city around you grow rarer. You sink further and further between the buildings. The deep stained brown turns to like this horrid grotty black. Finally, with a deafening crash, the Kestrel hits something, and everything, for all of you, goes completely black. Jemjammer is performed by Annie Creighton, Anna Emmeline, Rio Rios, and Mackenzie Weaver, and is edited by Jake Mason. Our cover art is by Canary Witch, who can be found at canarywitch.carrd.co, and our character design is by Rio Rios, who can be found at rios.com. Our opening and closing music is by Saad Akhtar Ali. For bonus content, such as Jilliana's private diary, behind-the-scenes homebrew stuff, and other features from our other shows, I Will Fight You and Date Me Damn It, our Patreon has it all from only $1 a month at patreon.com/thejemjam. Thank you so very much for listening. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.
First we were randomly abducted to an evil Halloween castle, where everything was shit. I did not remember Jill for a while. Jill was very upset about that. We had to fight a spectator.
Death's Head?
Death's Head? Some kind of beholder that sucked.
You mean it was a death tyrant? Sorry.
That one.
That was a death tyrant.
That one, thank you. There was also a big fiasco there with, all of us nearly dying. Then we had to go to a desert planet where I met the love of my life. That was the best part of Death Planet, frankly. But then we were in the desert for a while, nearly got killed by bandits, and then we had to fight a mummy lord. But then Jill was really cool about it and destroyed the mummy lord. It's fine.
Just checking in, you are welcome to roleplay this out manually, or we can skim over it. I don't mind either way, whichever you prefer.
No, we can do the kind of thing where we just start, like, where I start with a few things, and then we kind of... And then finally
Jake
we snap
put in
to...
that wipe here.
Yeah, then there's a star wipe. Yeah, that.
And then, right before coming to get you, we made plans with my family to, fuck over the lady who is fucking over my part of the country.